please do me a favor. Watch this on your phone so you don't see me, you don't see how bad I really am. Looking at these dreamy, bokeh-licious portraits, you might think that they were captured with something like this. But they weren't. They were captured with these. The iPhone you know, but Focos you may not. Focos is an app with powerful, comprehensive and complex depth of field controls. You can change the amount of bokeh in numerous ways. You can adjust the focus in numerous ways. You can change lenses and customize them for different looks. You can see a 3D and AR perspective and even add lighting. It's quite amazing. And I am going to go into a lot more detail, but it's not going to be my typical review or tutorial. No, instead, I've been inspired by these photos that have been captured with the Focos app. So today I thought I would challenge myself to take portraits like these, the kind of portraits that seem too good to have been taken with an iPhone. Now it is quite clear that these photos work because of more than just Focos's depth of field effects. Just like when you're shooting with a milk, let's try and make milk happen, or a DSLR, a shallow depth of field isn't enough. The photographers have also thought about their composition, their lighting and the pose. And these are very different across the examples, but there are a couple of things that are consistent across all of them, and that is the subject and the location. They're all of women outdoors. Okay, so I'm in nature, which is beautiful, and now I just need to find a woman. In fact, I think that's one over there. Yeah, that looks like a woman. Let me just see. Yeah, that's definitely a woman. Let's go and see if she wants to be in the video. Excuse me.
Hi.
Would you mind if I take your photo?
Why? Who are you?
It's for a video.
Which video?
It's a nice one. It's like trying to take photos in nature of women.
Oh, amazing. Are you David?
I am David.
I subscribe your channel.
Wait, you subscribe to me?
Of course, it's that one.
Yeah, that's me.
Oh my God, I love your content.
Really?
I learned so much with you.
Thank you so much. Did you like and comment as well?
Of course, I did it to every single video.
Every single video?
Oh yeah.
With notifications?
Of course.
Do you want to make a video right now?
Of course, let's go.
Let's go.
Let's go.
Nice one. There we go. She's definitely a woman. Having acquired something that is most definitely a woman, I got to work shooting in Focos. We went to a variety of locations and tried a mixture of poses and compositions. And while I was trying to complete the challenge, I was also still trying to learn how Focos actually worked. When it comes to shooting, it's easy. You just tap to focus and tap the shutter. It is slow during capture, and a lot of the time I actually used portrait mode in Apple's stock camera app instead, because it's a lot faster as it processes images in the background. It is pretty cool though how you can see the live depth map while shooting, but I didn't actually pay any attention to it whatsoever. I was more concerned about capturing the moment and hoping that Focos would work. I had no idea how many of these shots would actually turn out, what they would look like. I didn't know what I could and what I couldn't do. In hindsight, shooting with something as intricate as this tree branch and having the trees behind her was probably a mistake, because the results, particularly around her hair, are quite janky, which definitely downgrades the photos and gives me a lot more work to do to try and hide it. But apart from that, overall I am happy with how the photos turned out, especially for my first try. So now let's jump into the main body of the Focos app, which is its editing suite. Okay, so this is the main editing suite in the Focos app, and yes, I have switched over to the iPad. I shot on the iPhone and now I'm using the iPad to edit them, just because it's easier for me to actually use and it's easier for you to see. It's better for the video. I'm not like cheating. There's no extra functionality in the iPad that gives me any sort of an advantage or anything like that. It's exactly the same app, it's just got a bigger screen. And you're about to see now why this isn't a tutorial, because I literally do the same thing to every single photo. I just go through each and every feature and see what looks best, and that's it. You know, a tutorial would be all over the place. So I always start by just tapping to focus, and that's one of the things about the Focus app. It's like you get the ability to focus after you've taken the photo, which is really cool. And something else cool is that you get both foreground bokeh and background bokeh. So in this photo, you've got this area here with the branch that's out of focus in the foreground. Mafalda is in focus, and then the trees and that in the background are out of focus. And if you hold down, this is the original photo, how it looked. And sometimes if I'm not happy with that bokeh, that foreground bokeh, before I start, I will come in, I'll tap this this magic wand icon, and you can actually adjust the amount of front bokeh. So if I wanted that branch like in focus, I could remove the front bokeh, and now it's more in focus. Not 100%, but more in focus. But I don't like it. I liked it the way it was, so I'll just tap undo up here and go back to where we were. Now the next thing, I will quickly take a look at the aperture. Now I find f4 is a good point to leave it. Now it might be tempting to go down, so you know that we'll get that Bokalicious 1.4 or 1.8, but in this app it just doesn't look good. Often it looks really fake, and you can see this line around her face and things like that. So I like to keep it a minimum of f4. Oftentimes I'll go up to like 5.6. And the reason for that is because I actually want to sort of mask the edge, and the more detail you bring into the bokeh in the background, the more it masks the sort of rough edge of the hair. And I'll go into that more next in a second even. There is this focus feature which is good in theory. You can like drag it and the plane of focus moves across your image, which is a cool visual, but I find I never use it. It doesn't actually help whatsoever. So it's good as a visual, it's good in theory, it's good for intro B-roll, but doesn't actually help, I find, anyway. So I just tap to focus where I want. The highlights as well can also help you a lot, because if you increase them, and it is tempting to increase them, sometimes it does look really good. You can see the little bokeh balls in the background becoming brighter. And in here, in this image, it does actually work, but I find with the highlights, you often get like a halo effect around your subject. It'll probably come out in a couple of these images a bit later on when I go through another one. But you can see it actually just maybe a little bit around her hair here at the bottom. But if I bring highlights down, it disappears. But in this image, I don't mind a few highlights in the background, just making those flowers and things pop a little bit. So if I put them at 30, let's go 25, just because it does have that bit of hair down there. In fact, I really don't like that hair in the background. I'm going to leave the highlights low. I'll leave them at around 10. And vivid, now it might be tempting to whack vivid up because it does look really cool, but again, it can have some sort of side effects, if you like. Colours, I find you can get blotches of colour. It hasn't happened here in this image, but I often find when I bring the vividness up, I will get blotches of colour in the face and stuff. So I tend to leave the vividness down, because I will take this picture into Darkroom or Lightroom after this and edit it there as well. And another feature that seems good in theory, but I never use, are these aperture shapes. Now these are your realistic ones that replicate sort of aperture blades with the numbers. So you've got 8 aperture blades, 10, 7, things like that. And then you got the fun ones down here, and I have seen these fun ones used to good effect, but I've not captured a picture where I found them appropriate yet. So I always just leave it on the circle. These, by the way, these apertures are, I think these are the first feature you'll come across that are part of the paid version of Focus. There's a free version where you only get the basic shapes, I believe. And these apertures aren't enough to invest in the paid version. For me, what's enough to invest is the fact that you can export at full resolution in the paid version, whereas you can't in the free version. And there's also a couple of other things in there that hopefully Editor Me will list somewhere on the screen for you to see. But yeah, just so you know that you can apply the pro features to your photo, but they won't export. It'll remove them when you export. So it's just like teasing you in a way. So you can also transform the aperture. Again, cool, but I found a lot of these don't often do much to enhance the photo. Everything with me just gets left at default. I'm sure people have used these to great effect, but I'm not one of those people. The next thing is these lenses down here. Now these can affect the photo quite a lot. I would say these probably are worth paying for the pro version for. For example, you've got some of these swirly ones that you might have seen, like this A4, which can make this swirly bokeh. This one, Helios 44, is a popular one. In this situation, I'm just going to keep it pretty basic. I want one that gives me some texture in the background, but I don't want any sort of motion blur or swirls or anything like that. So I'm going to go for just the one that sits against the hair the most realistically. I think these are all pretty much the same. Let's go for this Carl Zeiss Jenner. I don't know. And you can customize the lenses, so you can increase the creaminess, the softness, and like again, this is my editing workflow in Focus. I just literally turn it up, see what it looks like, turn it down, see what it looks like. Bilinear, don't know what that means. The reflex makes a big hole in the bokeh. I don't know, but you can see how different pictures would be more appropriate for these effects. The corrosion corrodes the bokeh. Yeah, you can. This is why this isn't a tutorial or a review. I'm going to leave it like that, and I'm going to come down to this light bulb because this is pretty cool. You can actually add lighting into your photo, and I sometimes use this to just make the subject like stand out a bit more from the background. So I'm going to add like let's add a softbox, and you can like move it around in 3D just like that. And there is a way to get this to stay in place, but I don't know how to do it not by accident. It's the interface for this is a bit fiddly. I found I would like in future versions not to add any more features, to probably maybe even take away some features and just focus on making a few features better workflow. Obviously that's too light, so I'm going to bring the lightness down, and I'm going to diffuse it the maximum so it doesn't like, you know, create a hot spot or something like the one that I've probably got on my head. And I'm pretty happy with that. So if I tap and hold, I can see what it looked like before and after. It's pretty cool. And you can add another light. So if I add another light, like a ring light, say, where is it? Oh, it's appeared behind her. I was going to put it behind her anyway, so it's just done that for me. It's never done that before. So you can light the background as well as the foreground, which is pretty cool. So you can like turn that up if you want. Let's just see what it looks like, and you can change the color. So have some red in those trees. That could be quite cool in a different photo, but in this one, not really. Let's see if I can actually make it look anyway decent. Nah, I don't think so. Again, good in theory. In practice, I personally can't get it to work that well, so I'm going to just try and delete that one now. I think I've selected it. It's so fiddly. I just want to select my light. Come on. Okay, select the ring light and then press the trash can. Cool. Now, I'm really pleased with how it's actually, as much as I have criticised the quality of the hair, the way it's actually gone through this gap here is quite phenomenal, I think. And what I can do, what I've been doing a lot to tidy up things, is use this paintbrush tool. Again, this works, this sounds great in theory. In practice, it's a bit hit and miss. Sometimes it can work really well, other times it's just like, no. So here, I don't think there's actually many chances for me to use it in this photo, but you can literally paint the bokeh in or paint focus in, depending on what color. So here, the interface is telling me that Mafi is, the main focus is yellow. So if I wanted to paint focus, if you like, into this area here, I can do that and then tap OK. And now I painted focus in. So that's pretty cool. And you can use it to just like tidy up different bits. I think I might save this feature for a different photo because the hair is just, for me, it's too intricate to even go near. Yeah, I will save the paintbrush tool for a different photo. So what I'm going to do now is I'm just literally going to export this. And the export options I still find quite confusing. I'm a bit scared of them, to be honest. You can read what these do, and I hate going on about it, but this is why it's not a tutorial, because I don't really understand what's going on. Overwrite original, save as portrait, or save a copy. I just keep safe. I save a copy because I don't know what's going to happen if I overwrite the original. You know, how editing apps are going to behave if I import a portrait mode photo. Yeah, I'm a bit scared, so I go save copy. And now what I'm going to do is I'm going to come into the room of darkness, the dark room. So here we are in the room of darkness, and I'm going to see if any of my presets look good. Golden maybe? No. Let's go with, let's try this A100. This is one of Darkroom's built-in presets. Yeah, I like how it's changed the tone there. I think I didn't need to add that light on her face, perhaps. The preset hasn't helped that. What has the preset done? It's changed the colors. So perhaps I can just bring the highlights down. Yeah. I think that's, let me see what it's doing. You see, a lot of times I just make it up as I go along. See, moving sliders around and seeing what does what is a big part of my day. Let's try Darkroom's new clarity feature, because that hair is looking too sharp. Is the preset increase the sharpness? It has. I want to turn that sharpness down, and I'm going to bring the clarity down. Let's see what happens. Huh, that actually looks pretty good with the clarity turned down. What happens if we bring it down some more, like -50? Okay, I like that. It's taken that edge off, that iPhone, because these are hike files, so they've had sharpening applied to them. So I want to sort of try and decrease some of that sharpening. So she's still got detail in the eyes. I think that's built into Darkroom's clarity feature, the fact that it's going to ignore the eyes a bit and focus more on skin and stuff like that. That hair, this bit of hair still looks janky, it still looks dodgy to me. But it's not too bad. If I hold the picture like this far away, like an arm's length away, it looks really, really nice. I'm really happy with it. I think I may have created a photo that stands next to those examples. What do you reckon? Okay, let's move on to a different photo where I can apply like a different sort of effect. So this photo lends itself to the more swirly, more out of this world kind of bokeh. So what I can do to create that effect, again though, I am a bit concerned about these highlights around her shoulders. You can see them pronounced there. So if I bring them down, we get rid of that. And yeah, I'm really happy with how the light is different on her and the background. This sort of thing here I don't like, and this too. But hopefully the swirliness will get rid of that. So we go into lenses, in fact, vividness down, aperture size, let's do the lens first. So we have the Swirly McSwirlerson lens is typically the A4 or the Helios one. Let's go with the A4 one. And let's have a look at the highlights, because maybe we can disguise. Yeah, so the shoulder highlight, like ghost effect, has been disguised by the swirly bokeh. So that's pretty cool. And you can see she's a bit out of focus in the front there, which we can just come and change that. Maybe we have her all in focus. Let's see what that looks like. It's more realistic. You can see it, but I don't like it, even though it is more realistic. So maybe we just reset that. Bring it there. Cool. And now I want her to pop out a little bit more from the background. So we're going to add the softest of boxes. Okay, wait. One thing, candidly, while I'm doing this is, I know people don't typically like these sort of videos where I just move sliders, like I said. But these videos give me a chance to sort of be a bit more, not real, because I'm always real, but, you know, a bit more unscripted. A bit more natural, you know, because I don't take myself seriously whatsoever. In fact, I don't take anything seriously. It may seem like I do in my videos, but I really don't. So I get a chance to sort of show that here. Yeah, so the exact same sort of things I did before. Now let's try and actually put a ring light behind her. So if we sort of, yeah, well, we can just move it through her. So see how it's affecting it. And I did try turning it round before, but it was just such an awkward thing to do. Yeah, okay. If we put it there, let's see what happens. Let's try and make the background look like it's autumn. Make it orange. Is that having the effect I want? No, I don't think so, is it? Huh. It's a shame how it's just poking out from behind her head like that. If it wasn't doing that, it would look quite cool. Maybe change it to yellow, like a whitish yellow. Then move it down. Oh, that's really looking bad. Diffuse it, bring it up a little bit. These videos as well, they give you a chance to see sort of the real thought process behind stuff. You know, the unscripted, unprepared. Obviously I prepared for the video, but you know what I mean. Like, I'm not following a script when I'm editing these photos. I'm genuinely doing it, seeing what looks good. And you can see the trial and error process, you know. Because often in a review or a tutorial, you see the aftermath, if you like. And here you can see me failing. So I'm going to remove this ring light because it's not doing the job I want it to. Maybe a softbox would. Just whack a softbox behind her. If I can. Are you going to move through her? Is that behind her now? There is a way. Okay, that's behind her, right? Yeah, that's behind her. Right, okay. Try again with the softbox. yeah, a much more pleasing effect on the good old softbox. Let's go for that, see what happens. Ah, look at that. It's quite cool, isn't it? If we go on the light and we tap before and after, you can see like before, after. Alright, it's got some harsh edges. It's made the edges really janky actually. And now I'm moving the light without meaning to. Okay, how can we do anything about that? Because I don't want those janky edges. Because if you guys watch this on like a 4K 50-inch TV, you're going to be able to see everything. Please do me a favor. Watch this on your phone so you don't see me, you don't see how bad I really am. Move it up a bit higher, maybe away from the arm. Does that do anything? The jankiness is gone. I think it's having an effect. I'm going to leave it there. Okay, cool. Right, export. Bish, save a copy. Bash. Into the room of darkness. The dark room. And I've copied the edits from our other photo and I'm just going to paste them on. See what happens. Ooh. That's nice. It looks alright, doesn't it? Is that challenge complete? I'll let you decide. Like, you let me know. Do my photos stand up to the ones that I was trying to replicate? Let me know. And if you would like me to learn the Focus app, take the time to actually learn properly how to use it and present a review or a tutorial which is more in my... and darkroom has crashed. Very curious to see the reaction to this video, to see, because this is going to be a longer video. I know it is. So let's see. And it is a moving sliders around video, but it is a bit different. So let me know about all of the things that I've asked you to let me know about. And thank you so much for watching. Take care. Stay curious. I know I will be. And Pekrund shi ozibuna shi nevadem de minadsa. Bit weird. I thought I would challenge myself to try and replicate them, to try and take the same sort of focus. It's too early in the morning. It's fine. And I'm not cheating. It doesn't give me any advantage other than the fact that it's easier for me to use and it's better for you to see for the video. So don't be like, okay. Blimey. Just insult everybody. And this one is really nice, but... oh. Did it save? Oh, it did. Okay, good.